iti ajjhattaṃ. Page number 2, number C. Can you follow me? Iti ajjhattaṃ. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Bahiddhā. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Ajjhattabahiddhā. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Samudayadhammānupassī va. Kāyasmiṃ viharati. Vayadhammānupassī va. Kāyasmiṃ viharati. Samudayavayadhammānupassī va. Kāyasmiṃ viharati. Atthi kāyoti va panassa. Sati paccupaṭṭhitā hoti. Yāvadeva ñāṇamattāya paṭissatimattāya. Anissito viharati. Naca kiñci loke. Upādiyati. Evaṃ bhikkhave bhikkhu. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Recite together. Iti ajjhattaṃ. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Bahiddhā. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Ajjhattabahiddhā. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Samudayadhammānupassī va. Kāyasmiṃ viharati. Vayadhammānupassī va. Kāyasmiṃ viharati. Samudayavayadhammānupassī va. Kāyasmiṃ viharati. Atthi kāyoti va panassa. Sati paccupaṭṭhitā hoti. Yāvadeva ñāṇamattāya paṭissatimattāya. Anissito viharati. Naca kiñci loke. Upādiyati. Evaṃ bhikkhave bhikkhu. Kāye kāyānupassī viharati. Translation, follow me. Thus he dwells, contemplating the body in the body, internally, or he dwells, contemplating the body in the body, externally, or he dwells, contemplating the body in the body, both internally and externally. He dwells, contemplating the origination factors in the body, or he dwells, contemplating the dissolution factors in the body. Thus he dwells, contemplating both the origination and dissolution factors in the body. Or his mindfulness is established as there is the body only, and that mindfulness is established to the extent necessary to further knowledge and mindfulness, not depending or attached to anything by way of craving and wrong views. He does, nor does he cling to anything in the walls of the five aggregates of clinging. Thus two bhikkhus, a bhikkhu does, contemplating the body in the body. So there are four kinds of clear comprehension of what is benefits, clear comprehension of what is suitable, and clear comprehension of meditator's domain, and clear comprehension of non-delusion. Clear comprehension of domain, Gochara Sambazinya, is the clear comprehension of practicing meditation. Monks during early centuries applying the clear comprehension of domain. These monks lived always in their domain. They did not leave their domain even when they were going to the village to collect alms and when they were returning to the monastery. When keeping inside the domain, they also practice the observance of carrying meditation back and forth. Bhikkante patikante samajanakari hoti. There are many stories we already explained. Another bhikkhu name is Maha-Thera. He practiced the observance of carrying meditation back and forth. One day, while he was in the monastery, the other monks came to him and asked questions. He had to talk to them. In the course of talking, he made a movement without mindfulness. He moved his body. Perhaps he stretched or bent. When he did that, he remembered to be mindful and stopped, just putting the limb back to the former place, and then he moved slowly again. When the other monks asked him, "What you are doing?" He said, "Ever since I began to practice meditation, I have never made a move without mindfulness. Now, because I had to talk to you, I moved without mindfulness. Very sorry. So I took the limb back to the place and started all over again to keep up my meditation." The other monks were very pleased with him. Sadhu Bande, Sadhu, Sadhu, well done Bande. Every truly meditating bhikkhus, every truly meditator should behave like you. And also that bhikkhu reached enlightenment. So in this way, during earlier centuries, monks practiced the observance of carrying meditation back and forth. They carry meditation to the village and then they carry it back to the monastery. Carrying meditation back and forth to the monastery is the most difficult time for a monk to keep his mindfulness intact. When you are in a monastery, when you are in your house, or when you are in the meditation hall or meditation center, there are not so many distractions. So it is easy to keep your meditation in this place. But when you are going to the village for alms, when you go outside, and you come back, you are walking, and while you are walking, you are to be careful of the road. You are to be careful of the vehicle. You are careful of animals and so on. So it is difficult to be mindful. Even at difficult times, monks must maintain their meditation. So these stories are told to show the importance of the third clear comprehension of the domain, Kochara Sambhasinya. This is number 3. And number 4 is Asamoha Sambhasinya. Clear comprehensions of non-delusion. Non-confusion in going forward and so forth is the clear comprehension of non-delusion. This means understanding the reality in going forward and going back and so on. Clear comprehension of non-delusion is the knowledge or understanding of reality. It only comes as a result of the third clear comprehension. For without meditation, there can be no wisdom. Clear comprehension of non-delusion is the wisdom gained through the practice of your meditation. It means simply understanding correctly the Namarupa mind and matter you are doing at the present moment. In the Buddha's dispensation, a monk who understands this does not confuse himself. He is not like a blinded worldling who, while going forward and back, become muddle-headed. Many people who don't practice meditation think in terms of a soul entity. or in terms of I. So these people have the notion of belief of a soul that is going forward, or belief in a soul that makes him go, or it is I who is going, or it is an I that makes the going. These people are called Anda Bala Budujana, blinded worldling, because they have no eyes of wisdom. Unlike these, this monk or meditators, without confusing himself, when there is arising in one of the thoughts, I am going forward, just with that thought appears the process of oscillation, origination from mind, which brings to birth bodily expression or intimation. So by way of diffusions of the process of oscillation due to mental activities, this skeleton called the body goes forward. Meditators understand in this way. So we need to explain this. Without explanation, it is difficult. Before we make a step, there is the intention to make a step. That intention arises with its concomitant consciousness and other mental factors. This desire or intention, along with other mental concomitant causes certain material properties to arise in our foot. These material properties are the wind element, vayadhammānupassī. There are 4 elements, you're very familiar. They are the basic of all physical things. They are earth element, water element, wind elements or air elements, and fire elements. When there is the desire of mind to make a step, this mind causes the wind element to arise. Just as there are millions and millions of thoughts movements in 1 second, the material properties caused by that wind are also millions and millions. Millions of material properties, especially the wind elements properties, arise in your foot, making a kind of movement there. So that kind of movements is the many portions of the wind element. The wind elements create what is called movement. With that movement, there is stepping, there is going forward. So meditators who pays attention to the movements of the foot while he is meditating, we come to see this when your meditation becomes mature. It will not be seen the first moment you practice walking meditation, but by paying close attention to the walking, meditator first will notice the lifting, moving and downward movement. Then you will notice that every voluntary movement is preceded by desire to do it. Desire to move, desire to put the foot down. That desire causes some material properties to arise. What we call lifting is just the material properties in the foot. So we label it movement, we label it lifting. This will be seen when your meditation or walking becomes developed. The diffusions of the process of oscillation due to mental activities refers to the arising of wind elements, material properties, as the result of the mind's intention to go. When the meditator knows in this way, you are said to have clear comprehension of going forward and going back. In raising the foot, two elements, earth elements and water elements, are weak, and the other two elements, fire elements and wind elements, are powerful in raising your foot. So when you raise the foot, it becomes light. Lightness is the characteristics of the fire and wind elements. When you put the foot down, the earth elements and water elements are stronger, and the other two elements are weak. The meditators, when he raises his foot or put it down, you know which elements are strong and which elements are weak. And the commentary describes a step as broken up into 6 segments: raising the foot, moving it forward, shifting away, perhaps swaying to one side or other a little, dropping the foot down, placing the foot on the ground, and finally pressing the foot on the ground. It is not so easy to see all 6 of these parts in the beginning of our practice. So initially we place attention on only the 3 broader stages: lifting, moving, and putting the foot down. In each of these movements, some of the elements are stronger and some elements are weaker. When you move the foot forward, for example, there is the action, the movement, which is said to be light. When it is light, the earth elements and water elements are weaker, and the fire elements, the wind elements are stronger. A meditator see this, or he understands it when his clear comprehensions of domain, the practice of meditation becomes mature. He also see that the mind and matter present when raising the foot do not carry over to the next stage in which the foot is moved forward. And the mind and matter that are present in moving the foot do not last into the shifting away of the foot. At every stage, these phenomena arise and disappear together. After coming into existence in several sections, links and parts, mind and matter break quickly and disappear in the same place in which they have arisen. Neither mind nor matter moves to another place. Because there is the continuity of arising and disappearing, we may think that they move from one place to another, but actually they arise in one place and disappear at that same place. So in the commentary it is said, they arise and disappear section by section, link by link, part by part. Then a simile is given. These phenomena quickly break in those places, crackling like sesame seeds thrown into a heated pan. You can almost hear the crackling sounds of mind and matter arising and disappearing when you come to really see the arising and dissolution of mental and physical phenomena. In the ultimate sense, what takes place in all of our postures is the going, the standing, the sitting or lying down of the elements. What is it that we call going? It is just the moving of the elements, the earth, water, fire and wind elements. You can see this clearly in the mind, in your mind, when the clear comprehensions of domain has developed. Then meditator understand that there is no one who goes. There's no ego entity that goes or makes him go. You know the answer to the question. Who is the one who goes forward? Who's going forward is there? No one. For you have seen that there is only mind and matter. only the elements arising and disappearing. You know clearly and without confusion that there is no person, no one who goes forward and back. When this is fully understood as an experience reality, you have attained the last clear comprehension, the clear comprehensions of non-delusion, asamoha. The commentary explained that the clear comprehensions of non-delusion is non-confusion in going forward and going back. Non-confusion means seeing the reality in going forward and going back, seeing it deeply and clearly. When this happens, the underlying realities of all activities, underlying realities of life itself are made clear. People who are not initiated in the teaching of the Buddha, especially those who hold on the view of self also, think that when somebody goes, the soul goes, or it is the soul or the self that makes that person go. Sometimes they think, I go, there is an I who does the going, there is an I who makes himself go. So their understanding is always rooted in this delusion, moha, the delusion of soul or self or I. But those people who practice Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, following the instruction of the Buddha, know differently when they go forward and when they go back. So those yogis know that when there is the mind or desire to walk, this mind produces what is called the air elements. Air elements mean minute material particles of air. These air elements in turn produce movement. Bodily movements, especially the voluntary movements, are always preceded by the intention or desire to move. That intention or desire, along with consciousness, produce the air elements. And the air elements produce movement. This is understood by meditators who has been practicing Vipassana meditation. And through the practice of mindfulness in going forward and going back has fully developed the clear comprehension of domain. Meditators see that in going forward and going back, there is just the intention to walk and what is called walking. There are only these two things. Beyond these two things, there is nothing we can call a self or a soul or I or a person or an individual. This is correct understanding in accordance with the teaching of the Buddha. And we can get it only through the practice of vipassana. We may read books, we may listen the Dhamma talk, and we may understand a little, but that understanding is not real understanding. Now meditators are practicing 2 months retreat. Your understanding is real. Your real understanding is experiential. Your understanding is not intellectual. You must experience it yourself. Through practice, we must see and know for ourselves that in going forward and going back, there are only 2 things: the intention or desire to walk and the walking itself. So the commentary further explained that in making one step, there are 6 stages. A yogi who has reached clear comprehension of non-delusion understand these 6 stages in terms of the 4 elements of 4 essential. They are earth elements, water elements, air elements, and fire elements. Earth element does not necessarily mean the earth, but the quality inherent in earth, that is hardness or softness. Water element does not mean water, but something inherent in water, that is fluidity or cohesiveness. The elements of air does not mean necessarily air, but air itself, but the quality of inherent in air, expansion or support. The quality of fire elements is heat, not necessarily fire itself. These are called the 4 great elements. You understand these 4 elements while you walk or when you make a step. The earth elements and water elements are said to be heavy elements, while the air elements and fire elements are regarded as light elements. Heaviness is indicative of the water elements. When something is fluid, the heaviness in it makes it fall. Earth element is also heavy. It manifests as receiving and is a receptacle or base. Air element has a characteristics of expansion, so moving is the outcome of wind elements. Fire elements makes things soft. When something is on fire, it becomes softer and softer as it melts and turns to ash. That constant softening means lightness. When you are aware of lightness, you are aware of the fire elements. Sometimes during sitting you feel light, sometimes heavy. You are aware of the fire elements. When you are aware of lightness, when you are aware of heaviness, you are aware of the water elements. When you are aware of movement, you are aware of the wind elements. When you are aware of your foot pressing firmly on the ground, you are aware of the earth elements. In the 6 stages of one step, you can see these 4 great elements. This only happens with your practice of meditation and only when clear comprehension of domain has matured. The meditator also see that mind and matter which arise at the stage of raising the foot do not extend to the next stage. They disappear in the same stage in which they have arisen. At the next stage, a new set of mind and matter arises. That too appears and disappears at that particular stage and does not reach into the next stage. Furthermore, mind and matter arise and disappear, link by link, bit by bit, at particular moment within a particular stage, and do not survive into the succeeding stages. There is mind preceding each moment. In the commentary, only this mind is mentioned, but there is also a mind that arises together with the movement and is aware of the movement. It is the mind that is noting the lifting, moving, putting down, and so forth. These mind moments arise together with the material properties and cease with it. Then another set of mind arises and ceases. The process goes on like the flow of the river. The state of consciousness follows another state of consciousness. They follow one another immediately without any intervening gap. These arising and disappearing of mental and physical phenomena goes on and on and on until you become an arahant and reach your final passing away. Going forward and going back does not refer only to walking. It can be applied also to standing, sitting, and lying down. When you are standing, you practice standing meditation, standing. If you lean forward, that is going forward. If you bend backwards, that is going back. If you are sitting, you practicing sitting meditation, your body bend forward, you bend forward, that could be taken as going forward. If your body bend backwards, that is going back. Somebody did have to note bending, bending, backwards, bending forward. You have to note whatever the postures is. A commentary does not offer any clues about going forward and going back while lying down, but just say that it is the same. Maybe when you are lying on your back, and then turn to one side. It could be called going forward. And when you turn on your back again, when lying down, that could be going back. So whatever it is, we can say that going forward and going back refer to other postures besides walking. So the four kinds of clear comprehension should be applied to all our actions. The first one, clear comprehension of purpose, determines whether or not it is purposeful to do a particular act. If it is purposeful, then it must be decided whether it is suitable to do it. After knowing it to be suitable, we practice meditation on it, which is the application of clear comprehensions of domain. Then clear comprehension of domain matures, correct understanding of the action itself dawns on meditators. So that understanding is called clear comprehension of non-delusion as a Maha-Satipatthana. According to the teaching, only then does a meditator see clearly and correctly. But as long as we think that actions are done by a person or a soul or an individual, we are deluded. These four clear comprehension must be applied to every actions mentioned in these sections of the commentaries. So we will continue next time. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six centers, by noting every action continuously and meticulously, and by knowing that every actions are not done by a person, a soul, or an individual. And may you understand the clear comprehensions of non-delusion. May all practitioners be liberated from all suffering. May all meditators realize the real peace in the very near future.